There is a version of you that is waiting to emerge, a version that does not need constant motivation, a version that does not collapse when people doubt you, a version that does not waste hours chasing attention, approval, entertainment, or temporary pleasure. That version is not created by luck, it is created by focus, in a world designed to constantly interrupt your attention. The ability to concentrate on what truly matters has become a rare form of strength. Everyone wants your attention. Social media wants it. Other people's opinions want it. Fear wants it. Comparison wants it. Distraction wants it. And if you are not careful, you will spend your entire life giving your energy to things that contribute nothing to the person you want to become. Becoming dangerously focused means taking that energy back. It means becoming so clear about your purpose that unnecessary noise begins to lose its power over you. It means learning to work when nobody is watching, to remain disciplined when motivation disappears, and to continue walking when the results are still invisible. You do not need to become harder toward the world. You need to become stronger within yourself, because the greatest threat to your potential is not always failure. Sometimes it is distraction. Sometimes it is comfort. Sometimes it is the endless habit of starting something, losing focus, and starting again. You cannot build a powerful life with a scattered mind. So today, make a decision. Stop giving your best energy to things that do not deserve it. Stop explaining every move. Stop chasing every opportunity. Stop reacting to every opinion. Stop allowing temporary emotions to control permanent decisions. Choose what matters. Give it your attention. Give it your patience. Give it your discipline. And then repeat that choice until focus is no longer something you practice occasionally, but something you become. Because when you learn to control your attention, you begin to control your direction. And when you control your direction long enough, your life begins to change. This is where your transformation begins. Dangerous focus begins when you stop allowing the outside world to decide where your attention belongs. Most people think focus means simply concentrating harder. But true focus is much deeper. It is the ability to decide what deserves your energy and what does not. It is the ability to remain committed to one direction even when hundreds of other things are demanding your attention. Your mind is constantly being pulled. A notification appears. You check it. Someone gives an opinion. You think about it for hours. You see another person's success. You compare yourself. You experience discomfort. You search for an escape. You begin working toward a goal. Something easier appears. You leave the work and follow the distraction. None of these moments seem significant by themselves, but repeated every day, they shape your character. Your attention is like a beam of light. When it is scattered, it illuminates everything but transforms nothing. When it is concentrated, it becomes powerful. This is why you must learn to choose. Choose the skill you want to master. Choose the person you want to become. Choose the work that deserves your best energy. Then stop negotiating with every distraction that appears. This does not mean ignoring life. It means becoming selective about what you allow to occupy your mind. You will discover that many things you once considered important were only urgent, emotional, or entertaining. They demanded your attention without deserving your energy. Focus asks a different question. Will this help me become who I am trying to become? If the answer is no, you must learn to release it. This requires courage because distraction is often comfortable. Focus requires you to sit with boredom, uncertainty, and difficulty. It requires you to continue when there is no immediate reward. But every time you choose the important thing over the easy thing, you strengthen yourself. Every time you keep your attention on the task instead of reaching for distraction, you build discipline. Every time you refuse to abandon your direction because someone else is moving differently, you build self-trust. Eventually, you become difficult to distract. Not because the world becomes quieter, but because your mind becomes clearer. That is the beginning of becoming dangerously focused. You stop chasing everything. You stop reacting to everything. You stop needing everyone to understand you. You simply know where you are going and you keep walking. Distraction rarely arrives looking like an enemy. It usually arrives looking harmless. A few minutes on your phone. One unnecessary conversation, one notification, one video, one comparison, one thought about what someone else is doing. None of these things seem dangerous by themselves, but repeated hundreds of times, they become a pattern, and patterns shape your life. The problem is not that you have no time. The problem is that your attention is constantly being divided. Every time you allow something unimportant to interrupt something meaningful, you teach your mind that everything deserves access to you. Eventually, concentration becomes difficult because your brain becomes accustomed to switching constantly. Focus requires the opposite training. You must learn to protect your attention as if it were a valuable resource, because it is. When you're working, work. When you're studying, study. When you are resting, rest. When you are speaking with someone important, be present. Do not allow your mind to live in 10 different places at once. This requires boundaries. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create periods where your phone is away from you. Avoid conversations that repeatedly leave you mentally exhausted. Stop consuming information simply because it is available. Not everything deserves to enter your mind. You must become selective. Ask yourself throughout the day, is this helping me become who I want to become? Or is it simply helping me escape what I should be doing? That question can expose many distractions. Sometimes distraction is not entertainment. Sometimes distraction is overthinking. Sometimes it is constantly planning without acting. Sometimes it is worrying about how people perceive you. Sometimes it is trying to control things that were never under your control. The focused person learns to recognize these patterns. You cannot control every thought that enters your mind, but you can decide which thoughts deserve your attention. You cannot stop the world from becoming noisy, but you can stop carrying that noise inside yourself. The moment you stop feeding every distraction, something powerful happens. Your energy returns. Your mind becomes clearer. Your actions become sharper. Your progress becomes visible. And you begin to understand that focus is not about doing more. It is about giving your best energy to what truly matters and having the courage to let everything else remain unfinished, unanswered, and outside your path. There will be days when you do not feel like doing anything. Your energy will be low. Your confidence will disappear. Your mind will tell you to wait until tomorrow, until you feel motivated, until circumstances become easier. But this is exactly where you must understand the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is useful, but it is unreliable. It rises and falls according to your emotions, your environment, your sleep, your circumstances, and the reactions of other people. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline is different. Discipline says, I may not feel ready, but I know what needs to be done. This does not mean forcing yourself endlessly or ignoring your need for rest. It means learning to distinguish between genuine exhaustion and temporary resistance. Sometimes your body needs recovery, but sometimes your mind simply wants comfort because the next step is difficult. Learn to recognize the difference. When the task is important and you are simply uncomfortable, move anyway. This is how you train yourself to become dependable. You make a promise to yourself and then you keep it. You decide that you will study, so you study. You decide that you will train, so you train. You decide that you will work on your skill, so you work on it. You do not negotiate with yourself every morning. The more often you keep these small promises, the stronger your self-trust becomes. And self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself, you no longer need constant external encouragement. You know that even when the excitement disappears, you will still return to the work. That is what makes a person difficult to stop. Do not wait to feel powerful before taking action. Take action and allow the action to create your strength. Your emotions can come with you, but they do not have to lead you. Some days you will move quickly. Other days you will move slowly. What matters is that you continue moving in the right direction. A focused person does not demand perfection from every day. They demand commitment from themselves. So when motivation disappears, do not panic. Return to the practice, return to the routine, return to the next necessary step. You do not need to conquer your entire future today. You only need enough discipline to win the next moment. And when you repeatedly win those small moments, eventually you discover something remarkable. You have become the kind of person who no longer needs motivation to move forward. There is a strength that develops when you become comfortable with silence, solitude, and delayed results. Most people are afraid of these things because silence removes the noise, solitude removes the distractions, and delayed results test your patience. But if you learn to remain steady through all three, you develop a level of inner stability that cannot easily be shaken. You must understand that not every season of your life will be filled with visible progress. Sometimes you will work for weeks, months, or even years without receiving the recognition you expected. You may improve while nobody notices. You may sacrifice while nobody understands. You may continue moving forward while the people around you believe you are standing still. This is where many people quit. They confuse the absence of immediate results with the absence of progress. But growth is often invisible before it becomes visible. When you train your mind, discipline yourself, learn a skill, build your character, or work toward a meaningful goal, much of the transformation happens beneath the surface. Just as roots develop underground before a tree becomes visible, your internal development may happen long before anyone can see its consequences. Learn to respect this process. You do not need applause for every step. You do not need people to constantly reassure you that you are doing well. You do not need to announce everything you are building. Sometimes you need to disappear from the noise and return to your work. Solitude gives you the opportunity to hear your own thoughts without the influence of everyone else's expectations. In that space, you begin asking better questions. What truly matters to me? What am I trying to become? What habits are weakening me? What distractions keep stealing my attention? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are valuable. And delayed results teach another essential lesson: patience. You cannot force every outcome to arrive according to your preferred timeline. Your responsibility is to control the effort, not demand the result. Keep practicing. Keep learning, keep refining, keep showing up. Eventually, your consistency begins producing evidence. The person who learns to continue without immediate rewards becomes extremely difficult to defeat. They no longer need constant excitement to move forward. They understand that the quiet season is not wasted time. It is preparation. So become comfortable being unseen. Become comfortable working quietly. Become comfortable waiting. Your greatest transformation may be happening during the exact period when you think nothing is happening. Stay with the process long enough for your hidden work to become visible strength.